Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Mr. Strategy. Well, that's not my real name, but I suppose you will already have guessed that when seeing my channel. Now, since it's my very first video, allow me to give you a brief introduction of myself and what I'm going to do on this channel, and then we'll get to the actual content of the video. Now, as you can see, I'm a Hearthstone player. I really enjoy playing this game. I've been playing it for about 10 months now, and I must say, during a large chunk of these 10 months, I've been a bit of a mediocre player. I've created lots of decks myself for fun, and I've never really reached higher than rank 17 with it. That is until about 3 months ago. I really started to try and get more competitive into the game, and I started to craft meta decks, and I quickly climbed the ladder after that. My current record is rank 1 with 5 stars. Yes, it's very ironic. You can see it on my profile picture. It's not a fake picture. It is a screenshot I took myself. And it shows me at rank 1 with 5 stars. Sadly, I've never managed to get into Legend, because when I got to rank 1 5 stars in early June 2018, well, I started losing after that, and I never really came back to that level again. Right now I'm fluctuating a lot between rank 4 and rank 3. But I'm still hoping to be able to get to Legend one day. Who knows, with new meta changes I might hit the right deck. Anyway, talking about decks, let's get to the content of this video. I'm going to show you my very favorite deck for the moment, which is even Warlock, or Handlock you can say. You can see it here. It's a very popular meta deck. It's considered the best deck for Warlock, for the Warlock class at the moment. Well, although that is currently actually changing. Many people have started playing a new Heal Zoo deck recently, and I mean recently as in the past week or something, but let's just say even Warlock is still considered the best Warlock deck for the moment. Now, I run the most classical version of the deck. That being said, on the site HEARTHSTONE META Stats, it shows that there are actually 5 viable even handlock decks in the game, and this one actually only gets the 3rd best win rates of all. But the good thing is that this is certainly the most used deck of them. Now, let me give you a short introduction on the deck. Now, for those who don't know, we play Gen Greymane, which is one of the key cards of the deck. Now, Gen, if you have only even cost cards in your deck, then Gen transforms your hero power into the same one that only costs 1 mana, so you have a lasting advantage during the game. And we're going to use that hero power that only costs 1 mana to tap, as we call it, and draw as many cards as we can at the start of the game. Now, that's where our big cards come in. Our big cards are mainly 2 Mountain Giants and 2 Twilight Drakes. Now, the Giants cost 1 less for each other card in our hand, which means that if we tap a lot at the start of the game, we can put 8 Mountain Giants really soon in the game. This is to say, we can put one on turn 3 when we're on the coin, because then we have 2 extra cards in our hand at the start of the game. Or if we don't have the coin, then we can always put one at turn 4. So we have really, let's say, big artillery at the start of the game already. And the other big card, which is, well, a lot weaker, let's say, but it's still very strong for its cost when you play it with enough cards in your hands. The Twilight Drake costs 4, gain 1 health for each card in your hand. And this Drake, well, you can play it whenever you want, as long as you've got enough cards in your hand. And trust me, with even Warlock, you often have a lot of cards in your hand, thanks to the hero power. So they're also pretty good. These are 4 cards that you always try to get into your hand as soon as possible at the start of the game. Now, since you'll be tapping a lot, and that your hero power is upgraded so as it costs 1, but not as if we'd had Baku, then the hero power would prevent us from taking damage from it. Now, this is not the case here. We'll still take damage from our hero power, but luckily we've got lots of heals to compensate for that. We've got 2 Plated Beetles, which is personally my favorite 2-cost card of the game. Gain 3 armor, counts as heal, and decent stats. Hooked Reavers are also going to play on that healing part. They don't heal in themselves, but since our hero will take so much damage, well, there are quite a lot of cases where we'll find ourselves underneath 15 health, and that basically transforms this card into a really good card for its costs, a 7/7 with taunts. The Spellstones, really basic for any Warlock deck. It's a great way to kill minions and heal yourself. Shroom Brewers can not only be used to heal your hero, but sometimes, if conditions allow it, then they can also heal other minions. I'm thinking about these Mountain Giants or these Twilight Drakes, mostly. And of course, Blood Reaver Gul'dan, which is also a very important card in any Warlock deck, but we'll get to that later. Now, of course, we need removal for very aggressive decks which run lots of small minions, so Double Defile, Hellfire, and Doomsayer will help us with that. We need taunts to protect our hero, which, as I already mentioned, will take lots of damage. Now, we've got Sun Fury Protectors for that, who give minions taunts, and of course the Hooked Reavers, who I already mentioned earlier. Lich King is also a good taunt card, and it's basically a very good card in any deck, so that's great. Then we've also got some weapon removal, only one, so you have to watch out when you play it, if you know your opponent has lots of weapons. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Vulgar Homunculus also provides taunt, and it's also a demon, which is good, because as the Hooked Reavers and the Dread Infernals, which are also a bit of a removal, we need demons, because if we don't succeed in the early game with our big threats such as Mountain Giants or Twilight Drakes, well, of course sometimes those threats don't come, so either if our opponent survives those threats, or if we don't get the opportunity to play those threats, we can always hope to win in the late game by playing Blood Reaver Gul'dan, a hero power which allows us to deal 3 damage and restore 3 health every turn, which is really super lot of value. And well, it's best if this Gul'dan also summons quite a lot of demons as well, so we've got 3 kinds of demons into our deck to allow us to do this. Of course, you must know that River Gul'dan is already a card good enough to play even without the demons, but the demons are a good extra. So, really love this deck. This is the deck that has gotten me the furthest in the game for the moment, and so, without further ado, let me show you how to play it. I've been playing this deck for a while now. I think it's like 2 months or something. So I was playing it already before the late May nerfs, which means I played it before it was actually really considered meta.
The light shall bring victory.
Your soul shall be mine.
Okay, so a priest, normally the priests you see in the meta right now are the quest priests. I mean, well, they're not seen a lot, but just priest isn't played a lot. Now, priest normally isn't very aggressive, so I'm going to get rid of all these cards just to be able to try and get my giants or my drakes, which, as I mentioned in the introduction, are very good for the early game. Now, this hand is not particularly good. We normally shouldn't need this kind of removal. We normally shouldn't need any heal, any weapon removal, so we really need some better cards now. Normally, this kind of priests always gets you in the late game, so you have to be quite aggressive in the early game. Okay, so he's not a quest priest. I don't exactly know what he is. I gotta say, the priest decks are the ones I'm the least familiar with. Though, well, I suppose he's one of those priests who tries to one-turn kill you with Mind Blasts at the end of the game. Okay, so we've tapped twice. We've got a Drake. I think we're going to play I think we're going to play a Doomsayer. Just to see what he's going to do, and if he plays a minion now, well, it dies, obviously. And next turn we'll play our Drake. There you go. It's a spell, some kind of spell priest. Yes, and he's probably going to try and get his minions at more and more health, just to be able to, to cast Inner Fire on them later. Okay, so I'm playing my Drake. Yeah, no, I actually know what kind of priest this is. This is I think it's called Big Priest. Big Spell Priest or something. Okay, we've got a Giant, which is great. Now, if we play him now, that would mean we would waste 1 mana crystal. So maybe I'm going to play Shroom Brewer now, and play our Giants next turn in combination with a Beetle or something. No, he's got 2 big threats already, so I think I'm just going to play my Giant immediately. No, he can't kill his Radiant Elementals. That's okay. Well, I hope so. I'm going to kill them next turn, first thing, because I think they're quite dangerous. Okay, so he's put us at 15 health, which isn't really a big deal. I mean, we've seen worse. So we're going to kill his Radiant Elementals, restore health to our Giant, because he's really important. And of course, since we're in kind of some danger for our hero, we're going to give our big minions taunts. So we've established a relatively good taunt wall. We've got bigger board presence, but of course he's probably going to try and get us with very aggressive spells, so we're probably going to have to heal a little during the game. Okay, well, it's a good thing we can kill that Radiant Elemental with our Giant. As I already mentioned, these Giants are just really super great for for the early game. Okay, so our Giant has taken another hit. We're going to heal him again. I'm going to tap. It's the last time I do it, because it's getting a bit too dangerous in the Beetle. Now we're going to go full on the hero and try and kill him before the late game, because that's when I guess he'll be the most dangerous. So he heals himself a little. I really think we need to kill him before maybe some, like, I don't know what turn, but we need to kill him fast. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to play Drake, and I'm a bit at a lack of options. I don't want to play Homunculus because he's going to deal 2 damage to my hero, so I think I'm just going to play Spellbreaker on a minion which isn't affected by it. Now we go. Oh, this was stupid. We had a lethal. We could have Hellfired. Yeah, I didn't look at that. Well, that's a pity. We could have won already. Oh well. Okay. I don't know. This kind of priests, they're just pretty weak in the early game, I guess. And this victory was rather easy, but I'm pretty sure other decks would have a lot of a tougher time against them. Okay, so here goes for the second battle. We're playing a rogue now. Now, rogues are very often play very aggressive decks with lots of small minions. So what we need here, well, Giants are obviously very useful. Because they're useful in all kind of games in the early game, but we also need heal, because we're going to get lots of phase damage. Weapon removal is great, because rogues often rely on weapons, and removal would also be great. Now we can't have everything at a time. We've got to heal, weapon removal, and Mountain Giant. We won't need our Dread Infernal, so let's see what this gives us. And it's a Drake, which is also pretty good. So we've got a pretty good starting hand for a rogue.
Turned our curse into our
the
strength.
thing we lack right now is removal. So if we get a removal, then we're really great. Normally I'd say, well, we're going to be able to play our giant at turn 3 because we got a coin. But that's not going to be the case, probably, because he's probably going to try and get really aggressive on me before that. Although, actually, yes, here's our removal, that's great. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to be able to play our giant on turn 3 after all. He's normally, I'd have expected him to play a minion on turn 1, but he didn't do that, so, well, I feel pretty fine right now. Anyway, he's played the Henge Clan Bug, which is pretty much his biggest trump, I suppose. This minion gets +1/1 every time he attacks with his weapon, so that they can grow really quickly. But as you can see, I've got a giant, so I can get rid of him fast enough. And once I've hit him, I'm going to heal my giant to prevent this, how is it called, Felder Strider to kill me. So getting rid of him, big priority. Healing our giants, important as well. And now I think we've already got a better game, despite our already relatively reduced health. We do have a giant, which is almost at full health, so well, that's good. Right, next turn, we could play the coin to play Drake and something. Since we got 9 cards in our hand, so 10 next turn, it'd surprise me if we would tap. But I think we're going to need some heal for. Oh, this is absolutely wonderful. We got another giant, which we're going to put in right away. In combination with a beetle, which, as you know by now, means healing. Gonna get rid of that Henge Clan Bug while it's still small. Right. Well, I'm not going to just say we're 100% safe, because we don't have any taunts, and these kind of rogue decks often use Leroy Jenkins, which is a 6/2 charge minion. Oh, I hate this card. Yeah, this card is really valuable. It just got rid of our giant for, well, almost nothing. So that hurts, but okay, we gotta live with it. Now, we're very low health now. This is something we can say. So we're gonna have to get rid of his minions again. I'm going to play my Drake and my Beetle. We're going to kill some of his minions simply. Now, since he normally plays Leroy Jenkins, it could be that he already is lethal now. Let's see. Leroy Jenkins costs 5, so if he has him, we're dead. Okay, I think we're dead. Yes. Okay, well that's the deal with these decks. You know, you know what they have, and you know what they play, but well, often it's just a bit of luck. What we lacked here was heal, and I gotta say, I probably misplayed by healing my giant in the beginning. I should have focused on my hero. What we missed was heal, but mostly also taunts. As you know, this deck normally runs quite a lot of taunts, but we didn't really get any, so that was a pity. And well, we got pretty overrun, but just to let you know, I normally have decent scores against this kind of aggressive rogues. I normally get about 50%, so it's okay. Well, that was it for the video for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching me play my own favorite deck. So I hope you'll be inspired maybe to play it yourself too if you already play it. I hope you might have just learned something, or maybe you know more about the deck than me and you can tell me in the comments, like you know, tips and tricks and stuff like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and well, if you really liked it, you can like it and maybe subscribe to my channel. I'll be making more Hearthstone content, more videos about decks I will play. I'll play this Quest Taunt deck, this Mill Druid deck, this Token Druid deck, and lots of other decks I'm preparing for you, mostly in Wild actually, so those are a bit some spoilers for the future of my channel. Anyway, thanks for watching, goodbye!